We all began focusing our attention on this, the 96 season of champions, back in January, and it has had us spinning from coast to coast and towns in between. It all began in Charlottetown, PEI, the Unitel Canadian Mixed, Saskatchewan's Randy Bryden from the Cali Club in Regina, a winner over Ontario, and Rich Moffat from the Rideau Curling Club. Then we were swept away to Medicine Hat in a double Ontario win at the CIBC Seniors. Jill Greenwood from Humber Highland on the women's side, and it was Brampton's Bob Turcotte taking home the men's title. Then we went north to the Lakehead to Thunder Bay, Ontario for the 1996 Scott Tournament of Hearts and a second Canadian championship for Marilyn Bodogh out of the St. Catharines Curling Club. And then it was west to the interior of BC to beautiful Kamloops, where Manitoba's Jeff Stoughton from the Charleswood in Winnipeg took home the Canadian Men's Championship. That only began to light the fire under us, because then it was Red Deer, the Karcher World Juniors, where Canada's Grand Prairie team of Heather Godfredson were the women's winner, while the Scots took home the men's title, led by James Dryborough. Now we're in Hamilton, and the sun is rising on a brand new day. It is the 96 Ford Worlds from Hamilton. You know, the city of Hamilton has hosted the world before World Junior Hockey Canada Cups, but this week it is the 1996 Ford World Curling Championships. And looking to win her second championship, her first was in 1986, Marilyn Bodogh and her team from the St. Catharines Curling Club. In Saturday's opening draw, she was a winner over a former world champion from Germany, Andrea Schopp. And then this morning, she was a winner again to make it 2-0 so far. But, you know, in round three, she's against another 2-0 team. Yeah, the team from the home of the brave, the land of the free, guard zone. It's Lisa Schoeneberg from the USA. Another team off to a good start. The Canadian men's champion, Jeff Stoughton. He won his opener on Saturday. And then in his second draw game this morning, he blew it open against Germany. He drew for 4 in the 8th, and that was the difference. But look, 3 in the third, a steal of 1 in 4, then the 4 and 8. As he went on, make the final. Canada wins it 8-4 over Germany. And yes, as expected, Jeff Stoughton is standing among the leaders after 2 rounds here at Cops. We shouldn't be surprised to see Canada, Norway, Scotland sitting at 2-0. If there is a disappointment so far, it would be Australia. Hugh Milliken, former Canadian mixed champion, leading the team from Sydney at 0-2. On the women's side, Canada. Hey, Japan, the team for Tokoro, has won 2 in a row. The U.S. sits there as well. On through Finland, Germany, and Sweden, still winless, still early. So that's the matchup. It's Marilyn Bodogh against Lisa Schoeneberg. It's Canada against the USA.
The 1996 Ford World Curling Championships are brought to you by CIBC Trust, your will and estate planning and investment management professionals. Unitel, working with AT&T Canada. And by Labatt, Good Things Brewing.
There's certainly no mistaking where we are. It truly is one of the 7 wonders of the world, Niagara Falls. In all its still winter glory. Hi everyone, and welcome back to TSN's continuing coverage of this, the 1996 Ford World Curling Championships. Team Canada, Marilyn Bodogh on the ice bright and early this morning at 7 a.m. And she was a winner over Doherty Nordby, the 2-time world champion. And now she'll try and make it 3 in a row as she hooks it up with the United States. And Lisa Schoeneberg from Madison, Wisconsin. And with their thoughts back at Copps Coliseum, Lyndon Ray.
Well, it's very early in this event, but we have 2 undefeated teams both playing well, and so it's a key matchup. And we have a very experienced U.S. side, Ray.
For sure, Linda. They've got lots of experience. It surprises me that they don't play more in Canada because they're so close to our neighbors and get a chance to play against the top competition. But they have lots of experience at the world level. You look at the third, Erica Brown and Laurie Montford, they've been to about 6 or 7 World Juniors. But Lisa hasn't been able to close. She's been here before, and the American teams sometimes get off to good starts, but then just can't finish. And to win an event like this, to be a world champion, you have to be able to close. And she'll have her hands full with Maryland today.
They're playing so well, this Canada team, right through the lineup. I've mentioned it so many times. Front ends are key here. And again, Jane and Corey setting up the stones. But I'm really looking at the battle at third. Erica Brown for the U.S., Kim Gillard for Canada. Both very strong players and able to make any shot, really. Both skips, former skips at the World Junior level. So I think it's going to be very important, maybe more so for the U.S., for Erica to take the pressure off her skip. So a great game, looking forward to that. Now, back to our tour guide, Vic.
Of course, Linda and Ray, one of the best souvenirs you can take home from Niagara Falls is to have your picture taken in front of the falls. Hey, not at all. Where are you from?
England.
From England?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Nottinghamshire. Okay. Let's see here. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thanks to our friends from England. When we come back, we'll have the USA and Canada for you. It's round 3 of women's play, the World Curling Championships. You know there's an English team from Wigan playing? Yeah.
I've heard, yeah.
And it's all right here on TSN. Welcome back to Copps Coliseum here in Hamilton, Ontario. It is day 2 of this, the 1996 Ford World Curling Championships. 5 sheets in play. Our game is on the extreme right as you looked at it there, sheet E. So let's get an idea of what the ice might do. Let's read the ice now. Brought to you by Maple Leaf Foods, and here's Ray.
To make great ice, you have to have a good ice maker in a building like this, and we got a cast of them here. Lloyd Stanzo, Dave Merklinger, Hans Vutrick, and the king of them all, Shorty Jenkins. Let's talk draw weight. From this hog line to this tee line, 23 seconds. Not much faster, maybe 23 and a half. At sheet E, it's a little bit straighter than the center sheets. It's an outside sheet. 3 feet around the center guards, both turns. Going around the corner, the same thing. A little bit straighter than we've seen in the middle sheets. But it will finish a little bit and get behind those corner guards. When you're hitting an outside stone, very much like the Briar, it'll run pretty straight and break a little bit at the finish. Coming off the center line, about 14 inches of ice. Now, because it's an outside sheet, the side that's closer to the stands will even be a little straighter than the other side. And you have to watch it carefully. Sometimes it gets a little slower as well. The slide path will get a little quick, about 23 and a half, not much more. We haven't seen it go up to 24. It's a great surface. These are 2 pretty good teams, and the rocks are terrific, so this should be a good game.
Linda talked about the importance of the games. Norway sits at 1-1. Doherty, Nordby. Switzerland, Scotland, they're also at 1-1. Also in this third draw of women's play, Germany and Denmark and Japan. My goodness. Eyako Ishigaki is 2-0 so far against Jana Jokela, 0-2. Throwing lead stones for Canada, Jane Hooper-Perreault. It'll be Allison Dara for the U.S. The seconds are Corey Beveridge and Laurie Mountford. Kim Gillard, Erica Brown throw third stones. While the skips from the St. Catharines Curling Club, Canada's Marilyn Bodogh, and from the Madison, Wisconsin Curling Club, Lisa Schoeneberg from the U.S. And they flip for last rock, and so Canada wins the hammer in the first, so the U.S. will throw first, and this is Allison Dara.
Well, we've seen this U.S. team, Ray, play so well in the past. In 1992, 3 of these team members were second place to Sweden. They got the silver medal at the World Championships, but last year, Lisa, who only had a 4-5 record, didn't make the playoffs, was very disappointed. Early in the event, she lost a very heartbreaking game to Canada when she had a huge lead, so not a great event last year, and definitely she'd like to improve on that, and certainly wants to make the playoffs this year.
Well, you know, and you're absolutely correct in the sense. I mentioned in my opening comments that I'm really surprised they don't do a little bit more traveling, but in fairness to the team, Erica and Laurie, or Eric in particular, is a student, and I think Laurie is as well, and
Lots of weight.
and they don't get away very often to be able to play against better competition. And as a result, because mechanically all of them, Lisa, all 4 of them are very, very strong. But you gotta, it's that old adage, the things we talk about most of all, is you have to lose a lot of games to be able to win a lot of games, and you only do that by playing against better competition.
Well, this is Alison Darrow. She is a native of Brampton, Ontario. Left the city quite early. Dad works for Kimberly Clark, and so moving around with Dad. His transfer has settled now in Madison, where she's a student working on her MBA in international marketing. In fact, she just said her dad was transferred again, this time to Bangkok.
That'll work. Good shot. All right.
No, they're not curling there yet, I don't think.
So she's not on her way.
No. A very aggressive start to the end. U.S. putting the front stone up, and a come-around attempt by Canada was deep, followed by a U.S. stone that was right to the face of it, so still room for Canada to get around that stone.
Americans throw the rock as well as anyone, and it's a matter of calling the game and making those right shots at the right time.
Good weight, Jane. Good weight, Jane.
You talked about some of the travel that you expect the teams to do. Some of the U.S. teams, with the added Olympic money, have started to do that. I know the Swiss team that's here this week, Bruce, actually made a tour of Southern Ontario just before Christmas to play some of the top women's teams.
Well, I think it's the only way that some of the countries that don't have the big numbers are going to really stay competitive, Vic. And we're very fortunate in this country to have the big numbers and a lot of top teams. Each province can put a couple of teams on the ice that would be a threat to win this event, and that certainly isn't true in the majority of countries, in Europe in particular, and also in the States. They just don't have a huge number of top competitive teams. Lisa is their best, and she's shown that by repeating, but she's now got to move to the next level, and to do that you just have to work a little harder.
Where is it? Top 8? Come on. Lots of room. Lots of room. Yep. 8 foot. Top 12. Come on. Hard. Top 12. Hard. Hard. Float it wide. Big time. Okay, Kim. Corey. Let's get rid of that. So right here. Same weight. Same weight.
Well, Lisa recognizes that front stone is pretty dangerous to be there. It could be tapped up by Canada, so Laurie's going to take it off, try to roll away.
Real hard. Whoa.
Laurie Mountford works in payroll for the Madison newspapers, and she'll wreck in front.
Try to get the inside of it. Oops. Oh, well. No. Like that? Yep. Yep.
Well, in men's play, if you're competitive, you want a Purple Heart. If you're a competitive women's curler, you want that right there. The championship ring.
No line, P. Got no line.
Symbolic of a Scott Tournament of Hearts championship. They are pretty. Still wear yours?
Yes, I do. Very proudly.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. Just floating them.
They were hoping to get more of a split there. Open up the red one, push the yellow one more behind the corner, get things opened up.
Is that 3-2 or?
Didn't accomplish that.
3. Yeah,
what did she mean, Ray, by she's floating them?
Putting it back. She just she released it. Marilyn thinks she's putting them back a little bit. In other words, putting them out to the boom, away from the stick a little bit, and the rock will slide a little bit and then start its natural curl, so you don't get as much movement.
Well, Erica Brown, as Ray was mentioning, 3-time U.S. junior champion.
Hurry! Hard! Right up hard!
She'll graduate in May from political science.
Hurry hard! Come on!
Drive it back and through, and The U.S. without last rock is lying
Good
to.
job.
Erica is a very, very accomplished golfer. She was at Madison on a golf scholarship.
Yeah, in fact, she's supposed to be in Florida this weekend for a tournament.
Good job.
Terrific athlete.
12 and a half.
Our viewers will remember, of course, Erica's father, Steve Brown,
Yeah!
U.S. champion.
Hurry! Hurry!
Here is the coach.
Whoa! Yes! 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 Whoa! Whoa! Okay.
A jam, and so now the USA lying 1. Possibly 2, but certainly 1 back 8 and covered.
Yeah, right here. 8, just take the 8. Touch 8.
There, wearing the USA hat is Steve Brown.
Be a little bit slower.
Represented the U.S. 3 times at World Curling Championships.
And of course, Steve's son, I think it's Craig, isn't it? Ray, and Erica's brother is also a very good player
I would think
in
maybe
men's
a touch
side, in
less.
junior men's and men's curling.
And they're really a curling family, that's for sure.
Wait only. Gotta move. Gotta move. No line. No line. Just 12 foot, guys. Yep. Just 12 foot.
Just 12. Where are you?
12
Where are you?
foot.
Whoa, easy, careful.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep, all the way right up. Come on. Come on, all the way. Whoa, that's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice
That
shot.
may be a little indication of what you told us, Ray. The right-hand side of the sheet, the side closest to the stand, seems to be straighter. They were getting huge swing on the in-turn
Yeah.
coming
Right
towards
there.
that
Yeah.
from left to right as we're looking at it
Go
now
12.
on the left-hand side of the sheet. So you may be exactly right with that analysis, and that may be causing them a few problems this early in the game.
I talked to Hans Vutric before the game, and he was saying that both A and E on the side closest to the stand, they've been getting less movement.
Hurry! Whoa! No. Okay.
It's a jam.
Linda, talk about the
Straight there. Less ice even.
physical
Hey.
and mental
I could've
aspect of the
been-
game, because
Positive.
all these women were on the ice bright and early at 7 a.m. for their second draw, so I would suspect the wake-up calls were somewhere around 5:30. This is a long day for them.
What do you think?
It is a long day, but at least it's early in the event, and you
Right.
haven't really gotten to the stage where you're feeling too tired yet. You're still pretty pumped from the opening ceremonies and the opening day. And for these two teams, pumped because you've got 2 wins going into the game. A lot different, of
All right.
course, if you had a
Same
loss
shot.
earlier today.
Just a little less room. Just get it in with the hands up.
Lisa's got to be very careful about where she puts this. She doesn't want to set up anything in this area here. You know, you don't want to set up the possible double. So if I was her, I would be playing this in this area here.
Skip Stones in the first from the U.S. skip, Lisa Schoeneberg.
This is definitely a
Line's good.
situation where you can leave a better situation than when you
Whoa,
start. You've got to be very
Whoa.
careful with the placement of this stone.
Right beyond. Whoa.
I was really
whoa,
surprised
whoa,
the last
Whoa,
rock
whoa,
they
whoa.
took it so far.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This
Whoa,
doesn't
right there,
get
whoa.
curled. You just make your shot easier for Marilyn.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's
Okay, that works.
doesn't work for me.
Too deep?
Yeah, she can hit it on the nose, I
Can you
think.
get to the nose? See all of it?
Just.
That rock is so much better if it just overlaps the front Yellowstone and forces Canada to draw.
Let's go on the nose. To the nose if we can. Kind of wait here.
12 and a half.
Yeah.
And you definitely start worrying about those stones gathering
Yeah.
for Canada in the 12th foot, the yellow stones at the front of the house. Canada with the hammer.
I think about 12 and a half here.
Good shot, could really turn this end around. You heard Marilyn talk about, can I get to the nose? The answer came from the other end, from Corey. Yes, just. She hits it on the nose, she makes a double.
Canada does have hammer. Just underway in this first and third draw.
Whoa! 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 Yep.
Great shot, Marilyn.
To get 2 and to leave her city shot center line top 4.
Just cross that, maybe.
How important is the weight on that shot, Linda?
We're 1 and.
She throws a very nice
2 and
controlled
4.
weight on almost all her shots, but it certainly is key if that side is a bit straighter to allow the stone to make a little move for
We
her.
don't want to leave them this loaded one over here. That's the only thing.
But it might load right back on. I mean,
That's true.
We got this one.
I
You got to
mean-
remember this one. That's the key.
Yeah, it'd only be a shot for 1. You think this way, probably?
Or do you want to cross it? I just think it's tough.
It's
You don't
tough.
get by. I mean, at least this way.
Why don't we
got a
try and go?
chance.
We'll try and go this way.
I think that's good with normal, huh?
Yeah, I think just 2.5.
Well, you really got yourself in this situation by bringing your rock in too deep. And they played it with Erica's last stone. They played it in
Got to
deep.
stick around the rings is the key.
And Kim Gallard jammed it, and that should have showed you right there that you know, if you overlap the front one, the only thing Marilyn can play is a come around guard, a come around draw, I should say.
I'm
But
screwed. I'm playing like a 2.5. You know, if I don't get across it, I'm in trouble. Then we jam it right on our own.
I'm not kidding.
No, 2.5.
Get! Whoa! Yes! Hurry! Hurry!
Final stone for the U.S. skip,
Hurry! Real hard! Hurry hard!
Lisa Schoeneberg.
Hurry hard all the way! All the way out!
Jam it? She does. And so now it's a chance for 3.
Double. No. No. Go on the nose.
Goodness, how that's turned around.
Well, Kim
Well-
was looking at the double for a bundle.
This is over that one. It's a hit for 4, isn't it? No, 3. 3?
Lisa did it to herself. I mean, they just did it to themselves on the
Well,
calling of the
double there.
shots.
Yeah. Play it there. If we only get 3, that's good.
It's a double for 5, a straight
think
hit
about
for
that,
3.
Ice? Where were we before? Here? For the nose? No. Gotta go here. Yeah. That may get it dead on.
Huh?
There's rocks everywhere.
Hitting this stone on this side here, trying to drive it back, as Linda suggests.
do you
Catch that
think of
one,
this
and you
side?
could get 5, I think.
Yeah, what do you think? It's been running straight. And if we get the double here, you know, this is a hit for 3, but if we get the double, we get 4 or 5, eh? Rock first.
Rock first. Final stone.
Whoa!
Wants 3, has a chance for 5.
Right off. Right off. Right off.
She doesn't want
right
to jam
off,
it back on her own.
And by, she'll kill 1, so she'll score 1, 2 only. They'll have a look to see if it's 3. They've decided it's 2 yellow, so Canada in a, oh goodness, it could have been 3 U.S., 5. They settled finally on 2 for the Canadians.
Okay. Yeah.
The first stone of the second end, Canada's lead,
Good.
Jane Hooper-Perreault, is on its way. And
Nice
boy,
way,
when you
Jane.
look back,
Way to go.
Linda
Shot,
Ray, at
Jane.
that first 1 point, the U.S. is in good position to possibly score, well, steal certainly as many as
Straight.
2, maybe 3 to
Throw it
lie
inside,
3
huh?
anyway. Then Canada has a chance to hit with the double for 5, and they end up getting 2.
Well, I mean, the U.S. did it to themselves. She just skipped herself into that situation. She took Erica Brown's stone in too deep with the first, with her
Okay.
last one, and
Yep. You're fine. Well,
Kim
easy,
jammed
easy.
it. Kim
Cross
could have
it.
made the double right
We're
there,
crossing
and then
it.
she went right into herself again. So
Right.
the U.S. really dodged a bullet for sure.
And really, even that third point that Marilyn had a chance to get, rather than jamming, she must have been a little outside and it ran very straight. That third point is a huge point at this stage of the game. Getting a 2 back is not so difficult.
Yep. Easy, easy.
Yep.
Easy, easy. Yep, yep, she's right. Yep. Shot, Jane. Nice, Jane.
Allison Dara represented the U.S. at one Junior World Championship. That's
All right,
1994.
12 and a half.
The scores for you early in this third women's draw. Andrea Schopp, Denmark, struggling badly. Japanese with hammer blanked the first end against Finland, and that's our score as we play the second. The U.S. having last draw. Corey Beveridge throwing now for Canada.
Atta girl. Go first end.
7 a.m. the second women's draw this morning, and it was the U.S. winning their second in a row. Japan beating Sweden. Canada with the 8-4 win over Norway, former two-time world champion. Denmark against Switzerland, and Scotland wins big over Finland.
Yep, yep. Hurry. Hurry hard.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Chat, Lori. 12 and a half.
I talk about how important the front ends are here, especially with the 4-rock free guard zone rule, where the leads have to put the stones in play in the right positions to set up the end. And then it's up to Corey and the other seconds to try and come through, and if there's a problem, clean things up, get a key hit and roll, whatever. Corey's done a great job of it so far. It takes so much pressure off the back ends, the thirds and skips.
Hurry, hurry. Whoa.
Hurry. Hurry hard. Right up.
Third world championship appearance for Lori Mountford.
Shot.
Reminder, we'd love to hear from you on the internet. There's our address. Jason Vicero from Hamilton. How many new countries do you think will get involved with curling now that it's an Olympic sport?
That's a great question. There are a lot of countries involved now because of the Olympics that have not appeared at a World Championship. They haven't made the qualifications through. I think, Ray, you were mentioning yesterday you thought perhaps the growth would come from the Pacific Rim area, where we're seeing so much interest in Japan, for example.
Well, I think for sure that area is going to grow. Japan is really, really working hard at their game, and the results are. We're seeing some results here, and I think there's an interest in Korea, and I think eventually it'll spread, into China. And we know now the Russians are curling, and the Czechoslovakians are curling, and so, yeah, I think the Olympics are going to make a huge difference to the sport. More so in those kinds of countries than even in our country. We have the game flourishing in Canada, and it'll grow here as well, of course, but
All the way out.
it's a wonderful game for young people to get started at. You can play it all your life at a competitive level. It can take you to so many wonderful places. So I think you're going to see nothing but growth from this point on.
And I'd agree with you too. I think even in our country, where some people think that curling may have reached a plateau, leveled off, Linda, would you agree that now, with the thought that you can win a medal, you can represent your country at Olympics, this sport now becomes an alternative to something else that you may be interested in?
And the wonderful profile it's getting because of that, and because of the coverage that we've had, and all the coverage in the newspapers and all of that. Everybody sees the game now and sees how interesting it is to play, and how wonderful the strategy is, and how much there is to the sport other than just technically throwing the stone.
That's it now. Yep, 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 yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 that's good. Shot.
Most of these teams out here are, Linda, are really artistically very good. You see all kinds of terrific mechanics. So it's the other parts of the game that that they need to learn and to improve in, and there is no substitution for participation. And to gain that experience, you have to play against the top teams on a regular basis, and that's the single thing that's made our country so strong.
For less. 12 and a half.
Marilyn Bodogh settles in for her first stone here in the second. Picked up 2 in the first. The U.S. with hammer here in 2.
No. Whoa. 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 Nice one. Good shot, Marilyn.
Nice controllable weight, as you mentioned.
Came in good. Yeah, just 2.5, you know.
We'll be back with you at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for round 3 of men's play. 2 teams again undefeated. 2 straight wins for both Jeff Stoughton of Canada and Norway's Eigil Ramsfeld, making his 15th record appearance at a World Championship. She lost the final in '92. How close she came, Lisa Schoeneberg. Lost to Elizabeth Gustafsson.
Well, maybe this year will be more her year. The game earlier against Germany, she had to steal the 10th and 11th ends and made a key shot in 11 to capture that game. So maybe the breaks are again going the U.S.'s way this year.
Shot.
And so much has to do with confidence and getting off to a good start. And this game, as I mentioned, so big for both teams. For Canada, they've played Andrea Schopp of Germany, former world champion, knocked her off. They've played Dorte Nordby of Norway, won over that team, another former champion. And now this is the 3rd team that they're playing, and those are really the 3 most experienced skips that Marilyn will be playing. So it would be great to come out of these 3 games with the 3 wins and really get some momentum going for the week.
So you liked playing the more difficult teams right off the top, or would you have rather sort of eased your way into it?
Well, I don't know, because you can't pick your schedule. You don't even think about it. But if you can get through the experienced teams early in the event with those wins, then it's the sort of thing Ray always talks about. If you have a bad game and you get a loss along the way, it's probably not going to be as costly.
Okay.
That's a pretty costly miss there.
Got outside there, Ray?
It ran pretty straight.
Her first stone was very, very quiet and just came up at the end, and that one didn't make its final move at the end.
You hate to miss a shot like that because you give the opposition the extra
and I said, whoa.
the extra point.
It was just at the very end. Yeah.
A little bit out on the release, perhaps. A little bit with the fingers, maybe.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
What I was going to say, just to finish my thought, is that you hate to, you want to give up a deuce like that. You want your opposition to work for it. In other words, to have to make a play to do it. This way, it's just a gift to them. You know, Lisa didn't play the end up and down the sheet, and all of a sudden she ends up with the draw anywhere to the rings for 2. So
Come on. All the way. You got it.
Open draw for 2 for
Right up,
the United States.
Right up. You got it.
Go, 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 go.
Just
Dust
us.
it.
Good one.
Oh, Lisa Schoeneberg's birthday is until September, but she gets the early gift here, the draw for 2. And we're all even. As we go to 3, and Canada will have last rock battle.
All right. Good sweep, guys.
Let's begin our updates now in this 3rd draw of women's play with Germany and Denmark. The Germans stole one in the first final stone for Dorte Holm from Hidovra, and she'll make the hit and roll and stick just at the edge of the 8 for 1. So Andrea Schopp, former world champion, tied now and has hammer playing 3. Second end, Japan against Finland. Finland won the coin toss. I had said earlier Japan had. It was Finland. They blanked the first. Jana Jokela, 0 and 2, makes the hit, and look at that. Gets a little backing to score 2. So Finland with the early lead on Japan, and Ayako Ishigaki from Tokoro. Sweden and Norway, Dorte Nordby. There she goes, scored 1 in the first to lead. And it's Scotland and Kirsty Hay from Perth with a 2-1 lead over Switzerland as they play 3.
Hurry, guys! Hurry, guys, hard!
Feeling terrific.
Hard.
Let's go to the 3rd when we're tied 2-2, and Canada has last rock.
It's a good shot.
It's a shame Italy isn't playing in this round. Of course, only the Italian men are here. I'd love you to say that third's name again.
Yeah. We'll get a chance, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably.
You know, it's funny because I thought the way the U.S. started off playing that second end, it was one where maybe Lisa Schoeneberg might have said, listen, let's just play it clean. We're going in. Well, let's just take a break here and get our heads together after maybe, as you suggest, giving away a possible steal in that first. And then she turns around and gets two.
But that's what she did do, Vic. She just played it up and down the sheet. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Then what I'm saying, I guess, is then suddenly, boom, she gets 2 points.
Yeah, well, that's why I say it was just a gift. She didn't have to plan for it. She didn't have to play any corner guard. She didn't have to do anything. She just was handed a point.
12 and a half. Just kidding.
You wouldn't think, though, if you're going to give or have something happen to a skip like that, may as well be Marilyn Bodogh. You'd think that she could handle that kind of a stone and that kind of giveaway.
Nobody likes to do that. That's not great for the confidence, no matter who you are. Marilyn this year, I think, is even more focused than when I played her 10 years ago. She's very much in the here and now, the one shot at a time. Sometimes when you're hitting a stone like that, you lose your focus because you say, oh, once I've hit this, they may have a chance to blank. You're thinking ahead too much. You're not thinking about the weight to the broom. This year, she seemed much better about that, but definitely this is the kind of game where you really have to hang with it. You mentioned they were on the ice earlier today, might be a little mentally tired. So she's really got to focus on every shot, even the ones that look very basic, like an open takeout.
You got straight three, not even.
Good shot. It's fine.
What do you like?
Draw.
Got lots of options. You can play the in-turn around the center guard. In-turn around the center guard
Like that?
Yeah.
what they're talking about.
Marilyn Bodogh holds the brush for her second Corey Beveridge.
Great look at the in-turn, a nice positive release. An in-turn for a right-hander, rotates clockwise, goes from left to right down the sheet.
Lots of room, guys. Yep.
Corey's never going to get into trouble with that amount of rotation on arena ice. That sometimes gets a surface that's not as good as a curling club as far as firmness and can grab the stone and take the handle off. Now that's smart side. It's not in, but it does block the path for the U.S.
Great line, just a little more weight.
Talked in Kamloops at the Labatt Briar about how an ice surface that was terrific to carry the stone. Is this ice comparable?
Yeah, that's a good point, Vic. This is excellent brushing ice. It really is. It's got the same type of surface that we saw in Kamloops.
Rubs out on that.
This is Lisa first of all thought about hitting the front one, but I think it's to her advantage to stay on the offense in this situation. She just got two, and there's nothing in the ring, as Canada has nothing in the ring. So
Mine's good. Straight on it.
You can be the first there.
Gotta move. You got a lot?
Becky.
Yep. Yeah. Come on, get the rub. Hurry! Hurry!
Weight's good.
Hurry hard!
Well, weight's fine.
Whoa.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. All right, I should. Sorry, let's try and get it. I thought it was back 12.
Keith Whalen, Campbellton, New Brunswick. How are the ice makers chosen for these World Championship events?
Well, in conjunction with the organizing committee and the World Curling Federation, they make the decision, and obviously they look to get the very best, and that's exactly what they have done. You know, it takes a great deal of experience. It's not only you know, the condition of the ice surface. You know, when each building is so different. We've talked about that so often. And to make an ice in the arena in a building this size is a real art. And so you turn to the people that have the experience, and that's what they've done here with Lloyd Stanzel and Dave Merklinger and Hans Vutric and Shorty Jenkins. You match all the stones. We've talked about that earlier. Stones have all been matched by top competitive curlers in the area.
Okay, Corey.
The World Curling Federation, in conjunction with the organizing committee and people in the host country, will make that decision.
I think, Linda, as well, that Ray relates to the experience, but that's where Canada's influence in the game maybe does come through. With the number of curlers, with the number of clubs, with the number of championships, the best ice makers are here. So a host committee, whether it be here or in Europe, we've seen, will hire a Canadian.
And credit to them for knowing that. We have a training program in Canada for ice technicians, for curling clubs, and we do have very fine people right across the country at the curling clubs and race tech for the finest are here to work on this arena ice that is very different because of the air mass they're controlling in this huge building. They pick the great stones that work well in these conditions, and that's why the players have such wonderful equipment, stones, and ice to play with. Nice shot there.
Erica Brown into the top 4. Canada has last rock here in the third of a 2-2 tie. Is this the straight spot?
This will tell a lot because that last one, the draw, finished well, but with the extra weight, we'll see if Kim can get this half weight shot to make the same kind of move. Wants to catch about half the rock and roll over.
And you see it running, Ray, right down the edge of the 4-foot band, huh?
I'm staying right there. Coming a bit now.
Okay, Kim.
Good shot. Is that a little less? Just a touch. Just a touch. We got by a mile.
A little less ice, try and get it right there.
Got a curl again. No line. Lots of weight.
Draw weight has been between 13 seconds and 13 and a half seconds at the hog line. So the time is perfect.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
The line is not.
No, she got that out, I think. When she let it go, it looked like she just kind of floated a little bit.
That's fine.
That last one just curled off those on the top. I was just afraid it would.
I didn't think it curled though till right at the end.
Chance for the hit and roll.
Well, I did that on
you can see how difficult it is that this stone here is right here. Much different. Chance for the roll here.
No!
Kim Gillard.
No! 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 We're on this guard. It's that 8 rock again.
Well, maybe not so much the ice in Marilyn's opinion, but the stone.
I have you here.
Well, maybe a straight stone. We haven't heard. That's the first time we've heard it. We've done the sheet twice. We haven't heard anybody else talk about it. We'll try and hear what Marilyn has to say.
How tight? Like right tight, huh?
I think that's okay. Halfway's okay too, I think.
Did I flick both those out though? Not that bad. Not did it rock on that guard. It's the 8 rock.
Halfway's okay.
I'm telling you. I know when I threw my first and I know when I threw my second.
How similar is this situation now for the U.S. and Lisa Schoeneberg to that first end of play?
But it's tight. Just let her kind of know what's going on.
It's important not to get it too deep. Exactly the same sort of thing. They want to protect and not set up a better situation for Canada.
Line's good.
You could go to the top 12-foot though and just try and tuck it a little bit behind the yellow stone to take away the raise as well.
Just keep it clean on its own. It's long, huh? No, on its own, all on its own. Dust it all the way. No. Okay, good shot.
Yellow tap. How much can you see of that one?
You could take this stone here and kind of put it right here. Then this just a little bit in behind the stone, not quite over quite so far. Then this tap back on it is not possible.
Like enough to tap to right here?
No, just like.
Well, to tap it out of the 4-foot right here.
Yeah.
I think
That's
we're
what I
going to
gave.
throw back 12.
That's what I gave Corey. Just go a hair more because we can afford to hit it on that side at least.
To get in for second.
Right. Right there with that 4 weight.
Do you think back 4 is going to move that low?
Well, even if I'm shot.
You heard what
Where
she said.
were you here?
Yeah.
Tap this one back to here.
That 8 rock, I told you. It's that 8 rock. It's brutal. She missed that shot by 7 inches. I knew it.
All right, now she's bothered by that 8 stone, Linda Ray. She has to, getting into the hack now, you got to tuck that away, huh? Throw it away. It's no longer a factor when you're throwing your stone.
Back 4 weight.
Yeah, but she'll change that. It'll end up that.
Jane Hooper-Perot, they'll give it the lowly lead.
Yeah, the lead will end up throwing that. Yeah. And even if it isn't the stone, and it may very well be, she may be right.
Oh.
It's the first time we've heard mention of it.
Lots of room. Lots of room. Where is it? No line. Split it.
Raises it to the edge of the 8th, but the U.S. without last rock, still line 2.
Okay, you want to come in, huh?
Looks like she came out about here. Do you want to leave it there?
Just want to look at this again here. Yeah.
It's a golden opportunity.
Would probably might be about right.
I think even just a hair more, do you think? I'm just thinking, no, because she came about there.
She had a little
pretty
more
good
weight, but
just never moved. I'd say, yeah. High is okay.
Thing we can't see is how these two here are lined up.
Okay.
If they're lined up at all onto this one, then we can't see
Keep on
that.
that side center line.
Ray, are both draws available to her? Are both draws around that red center line guard available for Marilyn should she need it?
She'd have to play, if we put the guard up protecting the in-turn, then she'd have to go to the out-turn. I think it's a pretty tight draw, but I think it may be there. We'll take a look at it in a moment when we go back to the house.
But there'll be a lot of pressure on Canada. If Lisa does place this well, Marilyn will have to make one of those two very difficult shots.
Keep it clean.
Coming now. Right at the end if you can. Right at the end, you may need to. Well, on its own.
Final stone for the U.S. here in 3 of a 2-2 tie.
Yep.
And in great position right now for the steal.
That's good. Well, that's good. Nice shot.
To answer your question, Vic, the out-turn looks pretty tight.
I don't really even like playing off that one.
off that?
Off that.
What about coming in through here? I think it's
Where?
all we have.
She's talking about what you mentioned,
Yeah.
Vic, coming through that hole there.
What about that double pat?
No.
I can't see
behind it.
how those are lined up. We maybe look
I
at
think
those from
it's
the top if we get
Double
a chance.
taps lined up to come
Yeah.
like this way.
Is this here? No?
It's all we have. Or the double tap.
This one.
I don't like raising their rocks into the rings.
I know.
We hear what Kim said.
What's wrong with playing this?
There's no hole. Where do you see the hole to get shot out of it?
Well, even if they get one.
Yeah, but I don't see where we can possibly even get
If we
second.
play it tight to the red guard,
And draw down here?
yeah. And then it might wick off the 3.
I'll try it.
I don't see anything else. Do you?
You can see that the two on the side are not lined up properly. That's the two I talked about from the other angle. We couldn't see. These rocks are not lined up to drive it back onto this into this area. So that's why that hasn't been discussed. They're going to play through this hole, and as Kim said, that's all they really got is to come through here, try and get into this area here.
Linda, you were looking at maybe this one, the red stone at the edge of the 12.
Yeah, there is a takeout you could play on a very side red one to try and roll
There's
in.
a draw there.
I think Kim made a really
I mean,
good
it
point.
looks tighter from here, but that guard's really long.
Kim's
if we
saying
get by the red one,
we want to cut them down if nothing else. So they're looking
well,
at least
we
getting
might
full
sneak in
8
for
foot
second,
with this.
depending on my weight and depending on whatever chip we get.
So the final stone.
Yep.
Close, yeah.
Marilyn Bodogh in a 2-2 tie. Right now just trying to cut Canada's losses. Drawing against 2. And she won't get there. She'll crash in front, and it will be a steal of 2. 2 red, 2 for the U.S. Marilyn Bodogh. Maybe a little flat. Could be.
Yeah. Go right in now.
We continue our updates now. Third end, Switzerland against Scotland. Kirsty Hay of Perth leading 2-1. Carolyn Cruz from the Lausanne Nestle Club will pick up the deuce to take a 3-2 lead in a battle of teams that are both 1-1. Japan against Finland. The Finns scored 2 in the second. This is the final stone for the team skipped by Ayako Ishigaki, with Mayumi Okatsu throwing the 4th stone. Hits and sticks there for 1. Finland has the hammer back and leading 2-1 over Japan and the team from Tokoro. Steal of 2 by the USA in the third has them in front now, 4-2 over Canada. The first U.S. stone thrown by lead Allison Dara sits biting the top 4. This is Jane Hooper-Perreault.
Whoa now. Right here.
Well, Canada needs a little pick-me-up now after that big steal by the U.S.
Nice shot.
Well, if they're looking for support, you've certainly got it here at Copps Coliseum. A lot of people making the short drive, about 15 minutes from St. Catharines, of course, just down the Queen Elizabeth Way from Hamilton.
Weight's good. A lot of room yet. Gotta move. Let it move. A lot of weight. Plenty of weight. No. Weight's good on its own. Weight's good on its own. Let it move. Can you sweep it now? Yep. Whoa. Just tight. Yep. Go away. Good shot. All right.
How much can you see?
Just almost see it.
We can't take that guard off.
Play the tap. Back line weight.
What? Do I think we have to throw a little more?
Which way looks good to come? Hack weight though. This way?
That way?
Hack weight.
I think it was Jane Hooper-Perreault who makes the point. They can't take off that center line guard, which the U.S. has just thrown up.
That's right. You can't remove opponent stones in the free guard zone until after the 4th stone of the end has come to rest. That's with second stones. Then you can start peeling. So that's why they worry about how much weight to throw and which guard to cut it close to. They can remove their own stones, so you can cut it close to the yellow one, but not the red.
Whoa! Yep!
You can move it, but you can't remove it.
Whoa!
And by, very nice, Jane Hooper-Perreault.
Well, good sweeping, too, to hold the line.
Good sweeping, guys.
We'll see how close it was.
Play 3.
Great.
You got half of this too if you want to play at it.
And how do you react? Yep.
Yeah. No?
It was good.
I don't know. The range is okay too. You got half? Yeah. Just play it tight if you. Let's just play it 2. Throw that. That's fine.
Interesting, huh? So the 8th stone was the first stone thrown in the end by Canada and by lead Jane Hooper-Perreault. So if it was a problem for either Marilyn or Kim, it's not theirs anymore.
Yes, hurry!
Jane's.
That's right. Marilyn will remember that, though, to broom ice for Jane in case she feels it is a straighter stone.
Hurry! Hurry hard!
Lori Mountford.
Hurry! Whoa! Oh, careful. Whoa!
Oh, very nice. They're trading them here in this 4th end of play. 4-2, the U.S. leading as you update yourself on all the other scores. Nearing the midway point of this 3rd women's draw.
What do you like? Line's good. Whoa. Weight's good. Let it come.
You have to wait for it to get past that redstone.
Yep. Yep. Come on, guys. Come on. Good sweeping, guys. Shot, Corey.
Very nice shot.
Got half. Halfway.
Just asking for the same weight through the hole from Lori.
Lori Mountford played with her skip Lisa Schoeneberg on that 92 silver medal winning team.
Hurry! Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm sold. I'm sold. All right, that'll work.
Their
Plan
shot,
B.
I think. Yeah. Yep.
Corey Beveridge.
Yes. Three line. Top 8. Yes.
Lots of weight.
Yes. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Back 4.
Top 8. Whoa. Okay, Corey.
Sorry, Marilyn. It's no problem.
And by everything.
Just a little lack of communication. The sweepers actually thought it was going to
Right,
stop,
yeah.
and we're calling that out to Marilyn, and it was back 8-foot weight, definitely.
Straight trade's
This
okay.
way, huh?
Yeah, straight trade's okay. Just
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
U.S. third, Erica Brown, looking to make the straight trade,
Hurry
as
up.
her skip says.
Whoa! Yeah! Hurry hard! Hurry hard! Hooray!
Look at the pressure. Lori Mountford closest to the stone, and
Hurry! Whoa! Whoa!
Allison Dara.
All right.
Are the Rubs just going the U.S. way right now?
Absolutely, they're getting quite a few breaks. I think that was a little light.
Yeah,
maybe,
Erica
Ray.
just underthrew that.
Yeah.
She had just had back ring weight, just light hack weight, and
Right there.
Okay. So just a couple feet.
Out turn draw for Kim.
Just for weight. Got lots of room. Make sure it's here, though.
Line's good. T-line. Make sure.
Make sure.
Yes! Hurry!
Corey Beveridge
guys,
closest to
come
the
on.
stone.
Hard.
Jane Hooper-Perot
Hard. Come on.
leading this front end.
Come on. Come on.
Now Beryl and Bodogh out to see how far they
Okay.
can drag it, and it'll stop. Top 8. First and second stones still appear, though, to belong to the U.S.
For 2.
Where are you going with it? I like it right in there. I like it. That's okay though, because then we can push it again. I mean, we can give them one. That's not. I think right on it's okay.
What about that?
I don't. What? Are they 1?
We're 1 and 2.
We're 1 and 2. Yeah, maybe just tight in there.
Now, when Erica's saying tight, where
I
does you
suppose
think
just
she
short,
means?
Couple feet short. Should I play it short?
Yeah. Just play here at best, right here.
Okay.
And that was your first indication.
That's the spot. That's where they should play it, yeah.
So when she was saying tight, where did she want to go, Linda?
Well, she was thinking coming in tight and closer to the stone. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah,
she's lying to.
Yeah, they're talking about trying to protect the rays and trying to protect the open side of their other stone. You can't do both. So if you're going to protect the center line side, you play it just tight to the rings.
Oh, it's tight. It's tight.
Oh, don't touch it.
It's tight.
Don't touch it. Oh, don't touch it.
Leave it out there, guys.
Oh, don't touch it. Now you can.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, that's fine there.
All right.
It's a good shot.
Oh, yeah? Do you like that? Yep. Even if we get the hit and roll. 12 and a half. Here.
Kim Gillard as we play in 4. The U.S. leading 4-2 Canada with hammer.
Yeah. Hurry! 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 Hurry hard, guys. Gotta go hard. Gotta go really hard.
And the shooter will roll across and through.
Okay, Kim.
And almost out the back.
Here?
Yeah. Don't even have to get that deep, hey? You have to get that deep?
No, that's okay if you're. Yeah, it's fine. Tight is good.
Don't want to come. Can they get to this here? Yeah.
They can get to the button.
I was just thinking about going around here.
Can they move?
Let's do this as our first one. See what they do over there. What do you think? I think, huh? Good go, Raider. Hold that. Get in there.
That's okay too.
I don't
if you're
know.
here, even if you're up here, you can play it on your next one.
I kind of like this. I mean, if I'm not in, I kind of like this. Cover this.
I don't think you can see a piece, anything of it though.
Can you curl in everything?
Yeah, but if you beat them in over there.
That's what Eric is
But
saying.
they're gonna
You
have a
can't
double
see
setup.
anything.
Right.
All right,
Right.
that's fine. Play tight.
Just gonna play
touch
tight
more.
here.
Because we don't want to rub anything in before we out
All right.
right there, huh?
It's a very. Eric is right. You can't see anything in the back one.
Early
Could
numbers
beat him
on
the
these
other
2
side,
skips.
But could set up a double. Can't see anything.
Attributable
with
to
this, but I
what,
still think you can
54%?
curl in there.
Well, she missed the open hit in the second end to
That
give
one
up
did.
the 2, and in the last
Nothing.
end
It hasn't
didn't get
looked
our
out here.
stone into the house and gave up the
Not
steal.
too
So
much.
definitely the last couple of
Okay,
ends she
so just-
struggled.
And she had a hit for 3
Hit
and
it
only
tight.
got 2. It was a possible 4
Okay.
or 5.
Just let it move up a little bit.
And I'm
You have
just
to
being
move much more in the
reminded
room.
that she started slowly yesterday as well. First time we saw this Canadian women's team against Andrea Schopp. First, Skip Stone, the U.S.
Line's
and
good,
Lisa
yeah. Line's good.
Schoeneberg.
Hurry! Where is it?
Whoa.
Whoa, Dad. Whoa.
Can you rub?
Little rub. Yep. Yep.
Little rub.
Yep.
Little rub.
Whoa, then. Whoa, whoa. Stop.
Whoa, right off.
Stop. Stop. Okay.
You don't think that tap's there, eh?
What tap?
What tap?
Probably won't
tap
come
is
that
right.
much,
Like
eh?
this. You can get right
Yeah.
here. Hope for miss and then we go. Little berry behind here, right? Think of that ice. It's off center, yeah, that's good. Top 4.
This is maybe the shot that Lisa should have played. She decided this is one that Erica Brown talked about, maybe trying to get it in this area. This is what Marin's going to do now, try and come in and sit right in this area here.
And the 2 red stones farthest from the
Think of
house,
that
the 2 guards are the last 2 played by the U.S., and they're quite long, so it
yet.
does give Maryland lots of opportunities still to get around those.
Top 4.
Marilyn Bodogh in her first.
Go hard. Where's the weight? Yeah, for line. Hurry, line. Hard. All the way up, all the way up, all the way up.
They lost the
Yep.
line very
Go,
early.
Corey.
You could hear Marilyn's comment when it started to go down the ice. She called the sweeping on right away.
Just light, really, though, eh? Linda, don't you think? I mean, just she never had enough weight even to get to the rings.
Well, I came out hard, and I think I pulled back instead of coming out with the weight. You know?
There you are.
You want to come in that side? Why don't we come in that side?
You could do that
We
too.
can come in that side. Either this straw.
This draw is easier, though, I think. There's more room. There's a lot more room over here. I
thought
think.
she got over.
Do you want to play it short, or do you want to play it in?
I think you got to go in, because if she gets this back one, they get two.
What?
But that's okay. If she gets over, come around the outside, do you think? Think she can get to that?
Not enough, I don't think, to get it out, but.
What, play kind of weight, top of 12? Just play straight guard.
Is she playing a straight guard, or is she
Writing's good.
coming in?
Writing's good. If you stop in the 12 foot, that's fine.
You think that's enough? There's really don't in there. She's really light, though.
Yeah, this will get you to
light.
the button. So
This is
about
where you
50
want
on
to
that.
really
I would
put the
say up
pressure
here.
on Canada.
I'm just gonna
Oh,
throw.
maybe a
I'm
touch
gonna throw like that. Do you know what I mean?
Throw a 12. Yeah, just short.
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
fine.
gonna
They'll sweep it
overthrow
right
it,
in.
though.
Line's good.
Well, they've mentioned almost every shot, so I'm not too sure what they're playing.
Just go right in there.
She's playing in, but what she's saying is she's going to throw it top house and let the sweepers take it
Yeah.
if it curls.
Raise on the yellow.
As long as you ice yourself properly, Linda, that's the key.
Exactly.
You can't. It's hard to play two shots in one, but I like her call. I mean, she said, let's go right in, and I agree. Take it right to the top of the forefoot. Just don't be long, that's all. You got the line, let the rushers take it.
Final stone for the U.S. here in 4.
Hurry! 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 Whoa! Hurry! Hard! Whoa! Lot of room! Lot of room! Whoa! Now go! Yeah, now go!
You want to go all the way now if you can.
Hard as you can!
Drag it there for second. Nice shot.
Lovely shot. It didn't finish as well as I thought it might with that kind of weight. It just kind of sat there. I think it
Great shot.
was a good call too by Lisa. She wanted to go right in. Pressure is what this game is all about, and if you can keep the pressure
There.
on.
It's gonna hang. It's gonna hang with weight. Look at hers hung with weight. I think so. That's where we were for the draw. Right there.
Yeah. Right there?
Just drawing
Yeah.
through the hole, I guess, Linda. I think they can move a little more.
She talked about playing weight, so I don't know if she's trying to move that stone or I'm a little confused.
do
They
you
looked
think?
at playing the raise.
Well, I had that much more for the draw. Do you think I need more? More. Gotta throw like back 12.
Is that stone sitting at the back 4 on the, I guess is the in-turn side? Is that not available to Canada coming out of that stone?
Well, definitely Lisa, the U.S. skip, thought it was because that's why she went over and protected. Now, it may be
think?
that is the straighter side of the ice, and
enough?
Marilyn thinks she can't get there.
Do you think she can get there with that?
I think she can touch the
React so
forefoot with the other turn.
differently with weight.
So final stone, and
Yeah.
Canada again in some trouble.
Tight, yeah.
Trailing 4-2 and in danger of giving up some more here.
Whoa! Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Corey Beveridge called off.
Jane. Right with it. Right. Yep.
Right with it. Little bump. Going to catch enough of the 4.
Nice try.
Boy, you bet.
Nice shot, Marilyn.
Did they get it?
Yeah, I think she did. That's what she was playing all the way, Linda.
Yeah.
Goodness, she did. She bumped it to catch enough of the 4. Marilyn Bodogh.
That guy was tight, too.
Wow.
That guy was tight, too.
Updating now the game between Germany and Denmark as they play 4 in a 1-1 tie. Final stone for Andrea Schopp from Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Makes the hit. She'll score 1. Germany leading 2-1 over Denmark, and Dorte Holm. Japan, Finland as they play 4, 2-1. Finland leading. This is Jana Jokela from Havinka. 0-2 coming in. The Japanese, Ayako Ishigaki, is 2-0. She'll make the hit, sit top 4 for 1. So an upset in the making, possibly. A winless team beating an undefeated team. Switzerland against Scotland as they play 3-2. Switzerland leading. Final stone for Kirsty Hay from Perth as she plays Caroline Groos from Lausanne. Look at that, nice shot, the little pick, and the shooter will stop in time to pick up 3. Scotland leading 5-3 over Switzerland as they go to 5. So Canada picks up a very big single, and as you said, Ray, that was the Rays. The Rays was what Marilyn Bodogh was playing all the way. Linda?
Easy.
Yeah, it confused me a little because they were talking about how much ice they'd taken on the draw and making the adjustment. They didn't adjust very much because they thought their draw had curled so much. The problem with those shots is as soon as you add anything, and that was now talking back 8-foot weight perhaps to play the Rays, it goes so much straighter. So I wasn't sure what she was exactly doing. She knew what she was doing, and she made a wonderful shot. Just got some finish at the end to push it into the right position. So they were on it early because they thought it was going to curl like the draw did. Then they weren't so sure. As it was coming into the hogline area, they saw it go a little bit straighter, and they needed it to move. Got a little bit of finish there to get it onto the other stone to get the 4-foot. So it was a great shot.
And by just that much to pick up the single. So the U.S. has the hammer back and leading 4-3 as we now go to 5.
Well, it was a great shot by Marilyn. I mean, it's possibility of giving up 2 more and picking up a single. Big point.
Whoa. Back 8. Back 8. Yep. No, weight's good. Hard.
Lisa couldn't do any more than she did. She made her play a double, you know, a raise on a rock that was 5 to 6 feet in front of the rings.
We're on the guard.
Actually, we can leave it in
Yep.
the guard zone.
Yep.
I can't hit it.
What?
Still free guard
Yeah.
zone. Good shot, Jane.
Yeah, Kim's always aware of the fact that even though that wasn't going to push the stone in, now all 3 stones are in the free guard zone. The yellow ones cannot be removed from play by the U.S., so U.S. forced to go a little wider now to try and get around it. Allison with the out turn.
Weight's good. Right around.
Allison Dara.
Could use a little. Guys. Careful. If you need to, yeah. Come on now. Yeah, line's good. Come on. Yeah, hard. Real hard. Come on. Hard all the way. Hard all the way. Come on. All right. That'll work.
You want to bang that nose in? Or you want that?
Hit the ribbon or play the raise.
Or do
I kind of like this.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I think we'll play this way.
Okay. Do you like the other way? Because both the guards are the same.
Corey Beveridge.
No?
Not a lot of weight.
Yep. It's
Not a lot of weight.
No. No. No.
Yep.
No.
Not a lot
Yep.
of weight.
Yep. Whoa.
Not a lot of weight.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just looking for line.
Okay. It's good, Cor.
Okay, Cora, it's good.
Let's get rid of these. Or else we can play this back. No, no. I like that. Let's get rid of those. Yeah. Play peel.
Do you agree? Clean it up.
I'd hit something, yep.
Lori Mountford.
Yep. Whoa. Right off. Up. Right off.
Following.
All right. Jeez, I don't know. Just didn't move. Went alt. All right, Lori.
Yeah, a little bit on the angle though, and tap it back. Yeah.
Well, that last one may not have been Lori's fault. You heard Lisa say that the ice may have been wrong. Definitely Lisa not having the numbers so far in the game.
Yes.
Well, that's something about the numbers that you forget isn't taking into consideration. It's all the numbers as with respect to the shot and what's been called for you and you making it. So
That's right.
nowhere in the numbers is to say
Okay.
lane skip.
Okay. Okay.
Or sweepers. That's right.
Light. Light and tight. Okay, Corey.
Could play these into that.
All the scores for you,
Those
all
are-
the games you'll notice
Just
as
go
well are in
around.
the fifth end break.
Either. Huh?
They're lined up now. If she hits the yellow
Come
onto
around,
yellow
fine.
onto red, it'll get the
Go
back
around.
yellow one. She first talked about.
Yeah,
And they
don't
come
know.
around.
that might be.
So what dictates your choice of shots here, Linda, as compared to me? Do you think that that's going to take an awful lot of weight? Is that one of the things that you look at to make that shot? Or
No, I
Wait
would have been
only.
tempted to again play some weight
Wait
at
only.
something. Maryland loves this situation.
Wait
She's
only.
got
Whoa, no
stones in the
line, no
center
line.
line area. She's got
No
the U.S.
line.
playing a quiet
No
game.
line. Now go hard. Now really hard. Come on. Right up. All the way. All the way. Keep going. Keep going, Al. Go, go, go. Good sweep, guys. Here it goes.
They look to be digging in a little more today, Linda. All of a sudden, the rocks are starting to grind a bit, and so it may be a little bit, maybe a touch of frost out there.
Have to remember today, we may notice it more tonight. Today is a 4-draw day. They started at 7 in the morning. The lights are going to be on all day. There are going to be people in the building all day. That may have an effect on the ice.
Nope.
And this is this, you can see it going away from the blue area. It's kind of riding out a bit. Starts to come at the end, but just
Go, Maryland.
will come enough.
catches the corner and will push it back, and Marilyn Bodogh does all she can,
Kim.
but pushes it far enough to leave Canada lying shot, top 8.
This was the
I like
battle
the
I
draw
talked
again.
about, and Erica Brown. I
Or if
mentioned
you
how
wanna play
key
those
she would
topic
be, and so
combinations.
far, great numbers for Erica.
That's good.
Not numbers we would expect for Kim.
Canada, pardon me, lying 1, top 12. U.S. with hammer.
Yep. Hurry. Yep. Tight. Hurry.
It's a good call. If you can just get this around.
Well, hurry, line. Hurry. Wait only. Yeah, line. Hurry hard. Real hard. You gotta go hard. Whoa.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a great shot by Erica.
Come on.
That's a
Only right
terrific
up.
shot when you
That's a
think of
wonderful
how
shot.
difficult
Good
it
shot.
is
Good job.
for them to find the range
Good
here,
job,
where to
guys.
put the broom, how much weight to throw.
Great sweeping.
That was absolutely perfect, and
I know.
yes, it was nice sweeping as well.
It's terrific brushing by the front end.
Good job.
Allison Darrell, Laurie Mountford.
Great sweep out.
And continued to sweep it to get that late finish that they did find with that stone.
Kim
Out
Gillard.
T-line.
It's out there, no line. It's out there.
Make sure lines
It's
are right.
out there. No line.
Now it moves over.
Kim's got the whiteys today.
She was just playing to the face of it, just trying to freeze on the face of it. This is an excellent chance now for the Americans to get a hit and roll.
Get behind your rock, eh? Get your rock out
I
front.
knew on the first one I was bad.
Playing the hit on this with a good hit and roll. Roll it into this
Look
area
good.
here.
What? Yeah. We're good?
Did you hear what Marilyn called it? Linda called it the wideys.
Yeah, she's telling Kim to get the stone out more in front of her because the stone's beside her, and that's why it's floating out. You have to be careful when you tell someone in the middle of a game things about their delivery, but obviously Marilyn and Kim are comfortable doing that.
Roll it out if you can. Well, not at all. Not at
And
all.
look at this one go.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Come
Whoa,
back
right
enough.
Nope, nope, nope. All right. That's 5.
Second
Just
shot would
second.
appear to beat Canada.
Oh, I got to get another one in there.
I know. I don't know if I can't even get button around that way. Yeah.
You heard the comment, we got to get another one into this area, and they do, just into the face of this one, because if you don't get one in there, this shot is definitely possible. Hitting that red one onto that yellow one, which would drive it that way and bring these two rocks into play.
It's too bad that double raise wasn't there. It's just the, you know.
What
But
she's
do you think
talking about,
playing it and try and spitting it. Maybe not, eh? We're lying second shot.
this is the one that Marilyn was talking about. Too
Yeah.
bad this little tap back isn't
Double
there, but
hits,
it's
I think
not,
that's-
because this little red stone
Yeah.
just sticks in the way.
Just the
Top four.
itsy bitsy corner.
But if Maryland can get this around, which has not been easy, she'll try and close down the house for the U.S. and
Yep.
hope to hold them just to one.
Hard!
Top four.
Round! Round!
First stone for the Canadian skip. Marilyn Bodogh, the U.S. does have hammer in 5.
Yep. Hurry. Whoa. Whoa if you can. Whoa if you can. Whoa if you can. Whoa, 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 whoa,
You don't want to bounce off it, that's for sure.
Good
That's a
one.
nice
Lovely shot by Marilyn. Very
Say
nice
maybe
shot.
guard that.
Yeah, I think that.
And then play that raise on your last shot.
Right. I think we have to. They didn't have any here. I think go out to here, huh? I think it might really cut in there with guard weight. You know, those ones that are in a little white,
Yeah.
are really cutting.
Yeah. Okay.
Cover that. Straight guard. Yeah.
I'm going to play a guard on this one, like so. And then if worst comes to worst, they can always play the raise back on that
Halfway
one
is
with the
good.
last one.
Halfway.
First for the U.S. skip.
Line's good. Keep it clean.
Just
Whoa,
playing
plenty
it.
weight.
Line's really good.
Whoa, on its
here,
own.
guys.
All on its own.
You down to these?
Whoa. Rub.
Whoa. 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 No. No. Good shot. No.
No. I think just the draw here.
Okay.
I don't want to open it up, though. What do you think?
How?
If I took that
Well, how does she get two?
if I took the red one, that's how she gets two. I think just play it here.
Okay.
Unless my eyes are bad, the way she gets two is by hitting this one here straight back into this area here.
What do you think?
And you can take that away by getting
No.
around here, or you
No,
can take it
you're on
away
the
by
button.
putting a rock on this area.
Huh? Don't want to take that red one, though.
There's no possible way here that she could get to be
Like this
shot.
ice?
Could she draw in? Is that draw there, Linda?
I
Not
don't
too
think
difficult.
so.
No, I don't
No.
think she'll get to the button with draw weight. You don't have enough room, Vic. Here's a good look at it right there.
And there's that little corner of the red that spoils the double tap for Canada that Marilyn Bodogh was talking about. Her final stone now.
Very hard.
The U.S. is lying 1.
Whoa, round.
You could play that
Wait
double
only.
tap with weight, and it
Where's
might
the
come
weight?
off
Make sure
the
it's
corner of the
so
red,
down.
hitting the
Yep.
yellow back onto the red one. But
Yep.
I think it'd be close, but again, if you remember, the goal for this end for
Whoa!
Canada is to try and hold the U.S. to 1 now. And she's got a good chance to do it if they just close off the raise.
Did they?
nope,
I don't think you can get hurt with that.
no, you
I think
can't.
the raise is probably easier.
You think so?
Yeah.
We just saw her throw it. I mean, obviously.
She was out here with that, but I think with
Yeah, she gets
So we can
hits
just-
this
I would
stone
say
here
like
and
here,
punches
like
it
where you're throwing
straight
us.
back into this 4-foot
Play,
area.
what, T-shirt, T-weight.
yeah.
Try and do it a little
Can I
straighter
get
than
myself hurt?
that.
I don't think so.
No, you can't.
For a possible 2. full 4 foot would give it to her.
Just tap it right in there. There's 4 foot in there. Let's right to the 4 foot.
She's tapping this one back. What I was saying earlier is that if they'd hit this one here, it would have gone onto the corner of that one. It might have caught the edge of this one and driven it into this area here. But risky, but risky.
Final stone. The USA has one locked.
Go up.
Needs a little extra weight here.
Lori Mountford, Allison Dara just keeping it clean.
Wait only.
Come up enough, straight back to the 4 foot. That's what she wants for 2. Now they'll jump on it, drag it as far as they can. Get it to the 4 foot and they'll come up short.
Nice try.
1 for the U.S. They'll go to the 5th end break. And the Canadians trail through 5.
The 1996 Ford World Curling Championships are brought to you by Maple Leaf Meats, a cut above. CIBC Trust, your will and estate planning and investment management professionals. And by Unitel, working with AT&T Canada.
Reminder, we'll be back with men's play round 3 tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 teams that have won their first 2. Jeff Stoughton in Canada against Eigel Ramsfeld, the perennial Norwegian champion. 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on TSN. The U.S. leads it 5-3 over Canada here in the 5th end break at Copps Coliseum. Updating you on all the scores now as we move into the second half of the game, starting the 6th, and Scotland by 1 over Switzerland. You saw Norway's lead on Sweden. Germany and Denmark are tied. They're into the 7th already in a quick game for them. And Japan has come back to score 3 and 5 to take the lead on Jani Jokela. And of course in our game, as they get ready to start the 6th, the U.S. with a 5-3 lead. Be sure to stay with us right after the game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by UAP Napa.
At first glance, this battery looks like most other batteries, except for one important feature. Only a UAP Napa battery meets the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Available at AutoPro and UAP Napa member installers.
5 sheets in play here at Copps Coliseum on day 2 of this, the 1996 Ford World Curling Championships. Glad you're with us. Vic Roeder along with Linda Moore and Ray Turnbull as we take a look at the numbers through 5.
Well, the U.S. had a steal of 2 points in the 3rd end, but remember, it was a point by Canada they took with last rock in 4 that was so big because it looked like another steal looming. Numbers in brackets are the numbers of shots thrown, lots of draws being played so far. And the U.S. numbers on draws big at 82% over the 68% for Canada. Team percentages 11% more for the U.S. So Canada struggling here and maybe a little fortunate that the score is only 5-3 at this stage. Just lots of time still for Canada to get back in the game.
Really an interesting game because early in the game, of course, we know that in the first end, Maryland had a chance to score 3 for sure, and maybe even 4 or 5, but she jammed a stone and picked up a deuce, and then from that point on, really the momentum seemed to swing a bit, Linda, and it's been a long day for all these teams out here, having curled at 7 a.m. in the morning, so they just don't look as sharp as they have in the past, so kind of keep an eye on it. But you have to give all the credit to the American team. They've really, kept the pressure up. Some great come-arounds by Lisa herself and some good shots by Erica Brown. And Linda talked about the matchups. Kim Gillard against Erica Brown, both top juniors in the world over the past couple of years.
No line. No line.
U.S. lead, Allison Dara.
No line.
Canadians struggling a little bit with the ice. I think more so with the confidence of calling the ice. you know, when that happens, sometimes you lose a little confidence. And
Okay. Nice weight.
you have a rock do something. They decided early that the 8 rock was running straight, so they've moved that down to
just like the bump?
Jane Perot. So
I like this. Like just a hack weight bump. Bump that there.
Okay. Hack weight.
Line's good, yep.
Well, Canada achieved their goal last in by having the U.S. only get 1 with the last rock advantage. Now they're trying to rearrange the U.S. stones that are in the rings, get them pushed back a little bit so Canada can try and build up a chance for the 2 points with the last rock advantage this end.
Good, Jane. Shot.
Couple of updates for you. Japan against Finland. It's 4-3. Japan leading as they play 6. Final stone for Jana Jokela. 0 and 2 coming in, leading at 1 point, 3-1. She'll give up a steal here, and suddenly the Japanese have stormed back, looking to win their 3rd in a row here at these Ford Worlds. Switzerland and Scotland as they play 6. The Scots with hammer, leading 5-4. Kirsty Hay makes the hit, stick for 1 to lead. The Swiss going to 7. The team from Lausanne to have hammer.
well, we made this comment yesterday, but the Japanese team is really playing well, and it's been the effort put in by their association and all the curlers, of course, having brought in Canadian coaching, using Elaine Jackson, Dag to help them. And the biggest thing, Linda, is that they have interpreters now that know a little bit about the game and can speak English and transfer the messages that Elaine has on to the curlers. For a number of years, they've been mechanically pretty sound, but they didn't come with anybody that could help them transfer the information. But now in the last couple of years, they've been able to do so. Elaine Jackson-Dag has been able to, you know, to work hard with them. They've sent their teams over, I think, Linda, to Canada to play, and that's what's going to have to be done by the other new countries and some of those countries that are slipping away.
I agree with you completely, and remember, Vic mentioned earlier the Swiss team, Caroline Gruss that's here, she also came over to Canada, so it's those nations that are making the commitment. Switzerland has Erika Mueller as their technical director, a former world champion. They're really trying to bring their players along, and that's a great sign.
Okay.
And you were speaking with Elaine about Elaine Dag Jackson. That's her on the left, and maybe in this week's edition of the Globe and Mail, Bob Weeks, the curling writer, we just might see a story then on her involvement with the Japanese team. Little note taking there, Bob.
I used Elaine Jackson-Dag, and you're using Elaine Dag Jackson, and you're right, of course, and I'm wrong, but you got to see it. I'm a little older, Vic, and I just and I remember her father. I played against her father many times.
Lyle Dag, 1964 Canadian and world champion.
And Barry Neymark is here this week. He played with Lyle, of course, on that championship team.
Interesting end. U.S. protecting shot stone.
Okay.
There you see it, top of the 4-foot. Canada appears to have second shot rock.
This way.
Canada looking to get there to this end.
What do you think?
Yeah, to hit it on this side.
Hit the inside.
Hit it the other way.
Okay. Right there. When we go that way, we'll jam.
Yeah.
All the players were talking about the double, just which way to get it.
Corey Beveridge.
Well, yep. No. Oh. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Come on, Corey, come on.
Nice shot.
Great shot is right.
Maybe the spark will come from Corey Beveridge at second, or maybe even Jane Hooper-Perot at lead. Something to get this team back into it. They trail as we play 6.
It's always dangerous when you're protecting a shot rock and you don't have the hammer. Great shot by Corey.
Maybe just a 1. Huh? Maybe just play a 1. Okay.
Canada with last rock and line 1.
Good. A little less, I think. Yeah.
That's again a little different than what we've heard. Linda, they talk about a 1.
Yeah, using a different numbering scale, but this is an interesting call. They're trying to make a play on the Canadian Stone top 8 foot.
Back line.
It's certainly partly hidden. They have to be very careful how they hit it.
Hurry hard!
She hasn't got a lot of weight again on this shot either.
Hurry!
Allison Darrow, Laurie Mountford,
Hurry hard!
as it hugs that 4-foot line, now makes its move to get it by no.
All right. Good weight. Good weight.
From Ian Taylor in Abbotsford, BC. You know where that is, Linda?
I do.
Okay. Will the page system be used in the playoffs at these Worlds?
No, they're not used here, but there is a 4-team playoff. They take number 1 versus number 4, number 2 versus number 3. There are 2 semifinals, and the winners of those meet in the finals.
Now we tease Linda, of course, because you didn't know. What was the name of the town?
Well, the original name was Fritzl. It turned out it was Fritzville.
Oh, as if the V was going to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Near Oliver with a V in it, I would have known that.
Hurry! Oh! Yeah!
Linda, you're dead on that for sure, because I've been
Definitely
living and dying with Gibsonville for 2 years now, so you're dead.
Kim Gallard.
That'll work.
That is a good shot. Nothing wrong with that shot. Gets it open.
And start
That'll
counting
work.
the yellow stones that are in the house.
I was Lisa. I'd be getting a little nervous about now.
Nice, same weight. Want to play a little more?
Yeah. Okay. I would say like a 2. There's lots of room there. Okay.
And how important is that?
What do you think? 2?
Yeah, 2 is fine.
Right now, it's very big.
And it shows in the scoreboard.
Yeah, Maryland, none of the team have made great shots, but Maryland's been forced into some very tough ones because of that. U.S. certainly don't want to give up the lead here by giving up a big end to Canada. This is a big shot now for Erica.
Never, never, never. Dustin now. Dustin, stay right
Out of touch.
No.
Watch it back.
Oh, he can. Oh, he can.
Get on the back. Back. All right.
U.S. Stone back 8 foot is definitely shot rock. Maryland having a look at which one is second shot.
Whoa. Close to what? Hit and roll. No, the top. I kind of don't like the roll even. Okay. Okay.
Just hit it and stick is what Maryland's saying.
Why would she not like the
You
roll?
think this one or that one?
Well, Kim was talking about
Good
hitting the
shot.
top stone and rolling and then forcing the U.S. to do something aggressive
Yeah, hit
and maybe
that.
get a break if they don't make it
12 and a
properly.
half.
What you don't want to leave is a chance for the U.S. to get a good hit and roll and get out of this end.
Remember now,
Yes,
Team Canada
hard.
does have
Hurry,
last
guys.
rock as we play 6. The U.S. leading.
Hurry! Whoa! Hurry! Whoa! Yep. Okay.
And now she does roll it to the edge of the 4. So it's just a chance for the U.S.
The freeze.
This is the chance. And this is also a big shot. You can't roll out here, obviously.
Kind of like the freeze.
I don't either. Let's sit rid of it. Let's sit in the
I
wall.
said I kind of like it.
Oh, you kind of do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
For you, I guess.
Yeah. But that's okay. You want me to throw it out?
Well, I'm just scared of the double.
Are we second count there?
I don't know, but I'm scared of that double.
Pretty close, isn't it?
It's a tough double.
Yeah, it's yellow.
Are we count second?
Well, if we roll in though, we're not. It's not going to be that tough of a double.
You can hear what they're talking about. Well, yes, they could
I
hit
don't
the
know, I
stone,
kinda
but if you
like
ever
here.
roll out, are you ever in
Hard to
trouble?
get there.
The other thing, Lisa said, why don't we just freeze to it? And that's a strong possibility,
Yeah,
and
you're
I
right
think
about
that's
there.
not a bad shot. Sitting right in this area here, trying to sit right there, and at least this may be second, whoops, a daisy. This may be second shot, or it may be third, depending on what happens here.
play a freeze.
I think this is the right call. I really
you gotta
do.
freeze, huh?
You can't afford to lose the shooter.
Definitely can't play weight. I can say that. They could play it quietly and tap it, but the freeze is a good call. It'll force Maryland into a tougher shot.
3 to it. 3? About 3?
Yeah, this is a good call by Lisa, I think. You just can't afford to.
It's a touch less, I think.
Freeze
I wouldn't
ice.
play a freeze here.
No.
Don't you?
Neither would I.
Yeah?
Maryland,
Is that okay?
Maryland wouldn't
I
play
think
a
it's okay.
freeze.
No, they don't like it.
They don't like it because if she makes it, it takes the end away from her.
Well, first reaction from Lisa Schoeneberg,
No
because
line.
it was Erica
No
Brown that said, let's
line.
play the freeze, and she was sort of taken aback.
How
She
much
didn't
weight?
necessarily like the
No,
call at
no.
first.
They need something in there. That's definitely the point of what Erica was talking about.
Take ours. I could be all tied up. Yeah, if we can get, how much, we'll hit that one and bounce over here, eh?
Maybe not if we hit it here.
Yeah.
Hit and roll, I think. 12 and a half?
Yeah.
Lisa had a nice line, just didn't have just too much weight. She got it there by herself, and she touched it. I think if she has the quieter weight, it comes up a little bit, and she would have sat in front of that stone, and that's didn't have to be a perfect freeze or anything. All it had to do was sit down in front of it anywhere.
I think that looks like a lot of ice in here.
Maryland's number's low, as I
Okay.
mentioned, because she's
12
had
and
some
a half.
tough shots. This one isn't so
Get the
tough, and it
roll
can
in.
really set that end
Can
up if
roll
she can get a
now.
bit of a roll.
No. Yep. Yes.
The first for the Canadian skip, Maryland Bodogh.
Hurry. Hurry. Hurry, Cora. Hurry. Whoa, whoa.
And roll in
job.
front.
Sweep it.
Sit right on top of it, huh?
Be count with one behind it.
Will I though, or will that bash that? Will it kind of squirt it out here?
I suppose we don't
You know what I'm
wanna,
saying?
I don't know, but right now they're like 3. I mean, a double, maybe the
I think we should
double.
double it. Just play them. If it's curling, we just go in here.
Yeah.
Think here?
Hit and roll,
across it a
double
bit,
and
huh?
roll.
Just normal, little up, huh?
A little bit up.
What do you think there?
I think that's, yeah, I think that's all right. Yeah, I think that's plenty.
Want to cut it down?
Hitting this, back onto this one, getting rid of this one here. And hoping to roll your shooter just a little bit over
Play
in
a
here.
double. They're sitting 3. No, little up. Little up. I think we got to play the double. I mean, we can't just let them sit 3 and I don't make the perfect freeze. You know, we're talking about straight
And they
freeze. That's what
agree
ends
that
happening
with your
anyway.
Musiacu gauge, that stone around the edge of the 8-foot is in fact the third shot.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Dust. Whoa. Wait.
Lisa Schoeneberg.
Clean it. Yeah. No. No. Whoa. No. No. Whoa.
Looking to get 2 of them here. And so
Just
now,
had to curl a little bit more, Vic.
How did that
chance for
happen?
Canada to get 3.
I gotta hit this one too. Jeez.
I'll be measuring.
What side do you want to come?
This way.
I know. Just take this side.
Why?
Because it's on that run.
I think we'll be okay.
I think there with 12. She was right there.
We can afford to flop here.
Yeah. You think there?
Yeah, just throw a nice 12 and a half.
So Linda flopping that way, as Kim suggests, they cannot afford to touch that yellow stone.
No, they can't roll that far. They obviously
think
can't
about this
afford to
side.
overcurl, or they'd just jam it back on the other yellow one. But they're in a straight spot. They called it a
12 and a
run. I
half.
think it's just a little bit straighter than the rest of the sheet. And it's mostly a control
Well-
of the weight, just nice, quiet weight.
It does or it doesn't. Hers didn't. But then again,
The Americans can just wait now for this final stone. Marilyn
Yeah.
Bodogh. She had the early lead after the first end and hasn't had it since.
Hurry!
Looking to score 3 here.
Shot.
And out the back. And so you take those percentages in the 50s and you throw them out. Canada scores 3.
Yes.
2 for sure. They'll measure for the third. We believe it's 3. We'll tell you when we come back.
God, I was wearing it.
Updating scores for you. Germany, Denmark as they play 7. This the final stone for the Danish skip Dorthe Holm at 0-2 against Andrea Schopp. The draw appears to be for 1, 2, possibly 3, and it will stop in time. And Denmark leading Schopp now 6-3 as they go to 8. Switzerland against Scotland. Final stone for Carolyn Gruss from the Lausanne Nestle Curling Club. This a draw against 1, 2, 3, 4 by the center line guard. And she'll sit back 4 for the single. Switzerland within 1 of Scotland and Kirsty Hay from Perth. Japan against Finland. Showed you how the Japanese had come storming back. This is Jana Jokela. She'll wreck in front. It's another steal of 1. That stone, yeah, that's the one. At the back of the 4, Japan now 6-3 as they look to win their 3rd in a row. And Sweden against Norway. And at Jordland from Sandvalis against Dordy Nordby, the 2-time world champion. Final stone for the Swedish skip, Jordland. This is a draw for 2, needs full 12 to get the pair. And great brushing, she'll get it there. Norway and Dordy Nordby still leading as they go to 8. And that measurement for the 3rd point. 2 for Canada for sure. Who is it, please, Mr. Umpire? That's the one. Never doubt the Moosey AccuGauge. So Canada picks up the 3 as we go now to 7.
Come on, Marilyn.
Well, they're kidding around because Kim was holding the broom and Marilyn was sweeping the rock. They're trying to get Marilyn to drag this to the house.
Come on, hit it.
Yep.
3.
So skips can brush.
Of course.
1 rock.
We have to save ourselves.
I could brush 1 rock myself.
Easy. Yep. Yes. Hard all the way.
All the way, guys.
Right up.
All the way.
Whoa. 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 Good shot.
Good shot. You did.
Yes, yes, yes. 12, no, let's go this way. 12 and a half. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, honey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. 3. Hurry. 3 hard, guys. Hurry. Come on. Right up. Hard. Good sweeping. Good shot, Jake.
This is another one of those ends where we've had such a hectic end, last end, 6th end in this case. The teams just decide to keep it very open, exchanging hits, waiting for their better chance to get a chance for 2 points. U.S. looking for that maybe next end with last rock.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
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 Whoa. Whoa. Yep. 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 Only here.
Good shot. Good shot.
We'll see Jeff Stoughton in his 3rd round game against Norway and Eigil Ramsø at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Canadian men coming off a morning win 8-4 over Germany and John Jahr, while Norway was a 6-5 winner over England and Alistair Burns. Ramsø scoring 2 in 10 to pick up his 2nd straight win.
Shot, Court. Good shot, Corey.
From Jennifer Adams in North York, Ontario. Next year, the Worlds are in Switzerland. Where are they going to be in the years after that?
As far as I know, they're just bidding at the moment, and Glasgow and Red Deer, for example, are both interested in hosting it in the future. But as far as I know, the decision past Bern, Switzerland next year have not been made.
Yeah, hurry! Hurry hard! Right up! You gotta go hard. Come on! Come on!
Good sweeping, guys.
All right.
You think about that Red Deer committee bidding on the World Championships. In the last few years, they've had the Labatt Brier, and this year the World Junior Championships.
That's right.
That's an incredible amount of work for a committee, and I'm assuming a lot of the same people would be on these committees each year.
Well, and some of those people I know for a fact worked on junior hockey championships, figure skating championships as well. There's a great crossover. What's always amazed me about communities like Red Deer, we saw it as well in Saskatoon and Regina when we've been there. There's never, ever been a shortage of volunteers. It's a great civic pride that overtakes the community. Doesn't matter what you remember. Ray, remember we were in Lethbridge and we were amazed when people were taking weeks holidays. People that weren't even curlers were taking a week's holidays. And this is my town. You're coming here. I'm going to host you.
Yeah, and we saw the same thing in Thunder Bay, and we saw it in Kamloops. It's just amazing how those centers gather around together. I know Glasgow was really interested, but there's absolutely no chance it's going to be in Glasgow unless the World Curling Federation makes a lot of changes with the money situation that goes on between what it takes to hold the World Championship.
Sports scene here in Vancouver. Watch for my reports on Sports Desk on TSN, coast to coast.